Come here. I'm gonna give you the codes to your goddess glow up, because you can literally do all the hot girl tips, the skinny girl mindsets, like all of it. But if you don't have these foundational goddess codes and mindsets, everything else is just going to feel like it is punishment. So I want you to glow up, not through punishment, but through feminine discipline, through the art of learning about ritual and why we do the things we do for our bodies, why we want our bodies in certain shapes. And also I'm gonna answer some questions that I've been getting a lot of my videos, like, yes, it looks like you're a totally different person, you glowed up, all these things. Like, yeah, babe, y'all are clocking my tea. The last 90 days, I literally took myself through ceremony and rituals that the matriarchs in my family have always trained me to do. But I'm also human sometimes, and also life happens. And I just want to affirm that in your world as well. There will be seasons when you need to go to battle, and cortisol is going to be high, and your businesses are going to be on growth mode, and you're a new mom, and there's a death in the family, and you're acclimating to a new relationship, and, right? Like, there are so many times in our life when we will be in battle mode and you need to go into warrior goddess mode, and just things are going to be unkept, okay? And then once you're done with battle, it is so important to make that mental shift. I'm now going into healing so I can go back into blooming, right? Look at the earth, look at the seasons that she goes through. It's very feminine. I want you to mirror the earth versus any other woman on the planet, because you're a goddess. And there are so many different archetypes, and we need you to tap into your archetype and what type of goddess you are. Are you a goddess of pleasure, of power, of abundance? And maybe you're all of the things, right? So why not embody that in the way that you look? Why not embody that in your business? Why not embody that in your physique? So I didn't lose weight or try to get skinny. Instead, I focused on getting lighter mentally, emotionally, energetically, spiritually, and your body will mirror this. And here's a big cue, okay, or a big secret that my mentors, when I was in my early 20s and I was studying yoga in India, and I was very sick, and they were healing me basically. And one of the biggest things that they taught me was we have different energy bodies. You have the etheric, the spiritual body, which is your biggest body. It is not seen, right? And then we go into the mental body, so it's all comprised of your thoughts. Then we go into the emotional body, which is your feelings, you're a sentient being, right? And then you go into the physical body. What happens in the energetic happens first, and then it goes through all the other bodies till it gets to the physical one. So naturally, you're gonna get skinny when you work on the other bodies, right? Naturally, you're gonna get wealthy when you work on the other bodies. So I'm going to share with you different mindsets that you can program into those other bodies. So physically, weight just falls off, babe. And like, it just becomes an afterthought at that point. So we're not so concentrated on pushing and shoving our bodies into these hard, rigorous programs, nutritious ways of eating and belief systems, which might work for some people, but is it sustainable? You know, like, I want you to sustain your results, not just get the results, but even when you perhaps gain a little bit of weight, or you start to lose hair, or your skin gets dull, we don't freak out, because we understand there is a system to get us back into our equilibrium. And I know the system. I know what to do, right? And I'm not just saying I do, but I'm going to give you some secrets and some codes that I also share with my clients. So hit subscribe. Let's dive in. Get your pens, your papers. You know the drill. We drop gems from the beginning to the end. So the first big mindset I want you to embody, I want you to sit with it, listen to this as many times as you need, okay? Discipline is about devotion, not deprivation, okay? And for women have been deprived of their bodily autonomy, of their financial freedom, of the awareness and the wisdom of how powerful you are. Feminine discipline is about reverence to rhythm. It's about understanding that there is a give and a take. Like I said, life lives, and your girl, this is my craft. This is what I was raised in, but in the winter, there was some moments when I really needed to focus on a loved one's health and give my all, which required me to, get a lot more stressed out, right? And that's natural. But I also know, I know how to bounce back. I know how to work on inflammation. I know how to do my cupping. I know how to shift whatever energetic vampirism I have in my life through my thoughts, through et cetera, which we'll get into the next part of this video, okay? So I understand that there is a natural rhythm and an order to life. And because of this, I'm not holding on to life being perfect. I'm not holding on to my rituals being perfect. I'm not holding on to anyone around me being perfect because, again, life has a natural order, a natural ebb and flow. And it is my job as a woman to honor rhythm and to not resist it, to allow things to be as they are and not projecting what I need them to be, right? Because if I can still be excellent in the winters, and yes, there's inflammation, and yes, there's chaos, but I understand that I'm still nourishing myself in those moments. I am still making sure I'm going to my saunas and that I am not over speaking or I'm not blabbing on the internet what's going on, right? Like I'm still taking the proper measures to support myself in those winter seasons of my life. Then I've just set myself up for better springs. I've just set myself up to have easier bounce backs and glow ups and to get even better, babes, because I want you to get in this mindset. Anything that goes on in your life is just going to make you wealthier, healthier, happier, and more in tune with your frequency. Now, if you get that in your mind, nothing on this planet will take that away from you because your belief in yourself, your belief to conquer anything that happens in your life is your golden ticket to whatever reality that you want. It is your secret weapon and no one can ever take that from you. My grandmother would always tell me, this might fade. How people see you might change, but what remains constant and the same is this, because you have control over this. And the way that you see yourself is the way that others will see you. So always go here, work on your belief systems, build up that discipline to get very, very clear about consistently building a healthy relationship with your mind, right? And this is the art of setting up your body, your space, your nervous system for success. So when you do add these hot girl tips, like your hot girl walks and dry brushing and tongue scraping and body oiling and hair microbiome health, and we're gonna get into all that, and if you want me to go deeper into it, I will, and this is what this channel's about. So you could do all those things and you have that mindset, just doing it one time might change your whole entire life, right? Versus doing all those things and you don't have these mindsets of discipline being devotion versus deprivation and punishment, right? Or that you need to be perfect, because I'm just here to tell you, you're not perfect, and perfect is boring. Perfect is mechanical. Perfect isn't feminine. Perfect is a projection of the way that women need to operate. And if you're just gonna listen to anything else in this video, please listen to this. Perfection will keep you in the cage of someone else's perception of how you need to look, feel, be in this world. And my love, that cage is small and it's designed to keep you contained. I want you to feel abundant, to feel beautiful in your rage, to feel beautiful in your love, to feel beautiful in your sweats, to feel beautiful in your couture gowns. I want you to feel in alignment with the seasons of your life. Now, if you want to focus on your physical health, right? Maybe you want to focus on weight loss, you want to get snatched, skinny, whatever it is, you want to get lean, or maybe you're focused on healing your hormonal health, or there's something going on with organs, okay? Now, I know there can be tension, anger, resentment, all these things, but what I want you to think and just go super minimal, go to the bare bones, literally. I want you to imagine every single cell on your body is your warrior, okay? And you get to program it with the intention that you want it to go and do for your body. And it's actually already doing it. You have cells in your body that are quite literally seeking and hunting other cells that are cancerous, that will make you ill, that will do all these things. Your body's already doing that. But now if you get your mind into that relationship with your body, with your cells, and programming them like warriors and crystals and little mini processors, right, that are taking information and programming it into your cell as fat or muscle, as nutrition or waste. And once you start to get into that minutia, that really changed and transformed my life. Because I realized that if I overload my cells with toxins, with chemicals, with stress, and that is the foundation that I'm giving my cells to like feast off of yeast, gluten, all the things that my body doesn't like, then I'm setting myself up to feel heavy. And physically, you're going to feel heavy, right? I don't know if you've experienced this, but there have been moments in my life when I've struggled with ED, and literally everyone around me is saying, you look good, you look good, you look good, but I still felt heavy. Why? Because my cells themselves and also my mind were toxic, mentally. Yeah, I may have looked snatched. Yeah, I may have whatever. And to the outside world, that's what it looked like. But internally, I still felt disconnected. So cue in body dysmorphia. I may have looked away, but I couldn't see myself. Right now, I see myself. And I see so clearly because I've taken the time to go within my cells and to understand what is toxic, what is not toxic, what is toxic clothes. Like I switched over to majority of using cotton and linen because the frequency of the materials are much higher. Like the actual frequency is like in the 2000s, whereas polyester and other chemicals that are harmful for the body are much lower on the frequency scale. I think it's like 40 or something like that. So to just even make those shifts and to support my body in its natural healing transformed my life, right? And transformed also my cells, because now my cells are seeing we have more opportunities to do what we need to do. You're not getting in your own way now. You're actually investing in quality pieces in your wardrobe so that way your cells can get to work and to operate at a higher frequency. Some other detox rituals that I did was I really focused on an emotional detox and fasting. So fasting for me isn't the fasting that everyone does, which is every single day. I do not recommend that for women. I would highly recommend that you read the book Fast Like a Girl, because I've never felt comfortable fasting every single day because of my hormones, and it just didn't work with my blood cycle. So I intuitively take myself through ceremonial fast. It'll be 36 hours, 9 days, whatever it is that I feel intuitively I need to rewire, reconnect with my body, and more specifically go into my emotions and my mental loops and my spiritual loops and the things that I tell myself about how I feel about my body, or how I feel about a certain person, or how I feel about a memory. And once I just hear myself, right, and I can actually feel my body getting tired and fatigued about it, right? Because when you're fasting, you don't have that energy that of outside externally from food, so you're insourcing all your energy. And once I realized like, oh, this emotional pattern is draining me, it will not let me sustain myself and feel comfortable for the next hour, so I need to stop and let that go. And so I have a ceremony to just let that emotion go. I don't need it. I release it, right? I can't control it. I can't control the past. What I can control is my present and my future of where I want to go. And that's where I can be my best self. And I give thanks also to the past versions of myself that was learning and building up her strength as a warrior and a goddess, right? And again, goddesses aren't perfect. And so once I get comfortable with being imperfect in those moments, I get to show up now imperfectly perfect. And now everyone's like, you're glowing, you're doing all these things. Yeah, because I don't give power anymore to those past emotional, mental, or spiritual loops of identities that I've outgrown and I've shed like the snake. And in 2025, my loves, all of us, I don't care who you are going through an identity shift, a big one. It's an internal exfoliation, right? And so when you detox and you're changing up your nutrition and you're integrating new hot girl habits, whatever, step into the goddess glow mindsets where you're doing an internal exfoliation and you're doing an internal reflection of emotions, mindsets, beliefs that just aren't for you, and you let them go with love, because you deserve to be in a different skin. You deserve to be in a body that is healthier from within. You naturally will have that reflected in your form. And now people are going to be saying, what are your secrets? What are you doing? Da, 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 right? So build that relationship with detox where you are programming your cells, you are supporting yourself, you are making space for your deep dive within yourself, your nervous system. And then you show up to chaos different. You become a steward of abundance because you realize that internally, that is where all the magic happens. It's not externally, right? One of the biggest things that I feel like everyone knows from the spiritual community, as within, so without, okay? Whatever happens within, you'll see it materialized in your reality. And then just a physical thing to really work on with Goddess Glow, as you are purging and detoxing a lot of toxins from your body, it's so important that you focus on liver and gut detox and things to support yourself, right? So as we're physically, spiritually, emotionally detoxing, it's very important that you support your liver and your gut, right? And go watch my previous video about your womb health. That is a great complementary to this, but I'm gonna show you some supplements I use when I'm going through a really big detox. It just helped me a lot, okay? So L-glutamine is one of the really most important like amino acids in the body. It's going to help your muscle tissue. It'll help when you're flushing out all these toxins from your body. Because let me tell you, babes, I've done detoxes and fasts where I didn't do these things. Oh, I felt like crap. I felt like all the things that were being eliminated from my body. I felt sick, okay? So these supplements can really help you as you're detoxing, okay? Then another one is like a binder. You can get a lot of binders, which it can literally be cilantro is a really good binder. You can take it as a supplement, eat it in your food. Activated charcoal. This one's like the mother of it all. And just put it in your water. Some days you might need it, some days you don't need it. But if you are going through a deep change in your body, because maybe again, you're focusing on hormonal health and you want to get your periods back, or you're going through premenopause or whatever it is, fertility, really focus on detox for 90 days. Give yourself that time frame to drop in, go within and transform. Use a binder. Okay, this is gonna help bind up all those toxins and help flush and get it out through your body naturally. And then another one, NAC. NAC is also the glutathione precursor, and I've also noticed that it helps my liver, because that was like a big one that I really want to focus on, because your girl was, let's just say your girl, I'm a Gemini. Let's just say that, okay? I'm a Gemini. And my biggest focus has just been, I want my body to be like spring water. So these three things help me a lot, in addition to sweating. If you can, sweat as much as possible. Going to saunas, walking, taking hot showers, warm baths. This will help eliminate the toxins through your body emotionally, mentally, physically, energetically, so your body starts to get snatched. Now, another goddess mindset towards discipline is you want a calm nervous system. And what a calm nervous system is, it doesn't mean that you block out anything that's chaotic and you block anyone that brings any type of drama, because again, what did I say at the beginning of the video? Like, no one's perfect. You're not perfect. Why would you expect someone else to be perfect, right? So a calm nervous system is a regulated nervous system. It is in the heat of battle, you can still be graceful. In the heat of your anger, you can still choose not to say those cruel words. In the moment when you're on screen and on stage and you are nervous, you can still show up and be the most beautiful goddess that is communicating your truth, right? So regulated nervous system is a byproduct of your physical glow up, right? And it is one of the biggest benefits too, because neurologically, at least when I go through my fast, this is also what I focus on, is I want to go into the cellular cleanup and the autophagy, the breaking down of cells, mindsets, and neuron pathways that have been built in chaos and dysfunction. And I want to go in and I want to build more calm ways of relating with people, even people that have diverse opinions towards me, right? So this is where exposure therapy is important as well. Expose yourself to people that have different political beliefs. Expose yourself to uncomfortable spaces and situations, right? Like slight exposure, not so you can go in there and defend yourself, but literally so you can go in there and regulate yourself. You can calm yourself down. You could be playful. You could have banter. You could do these things, right? So this teaches you that you don't have to be scared of life, and you don't have to be scared of people that are different than you, and you don't have to isolate yourself in communities that only have the same trauma as you, you know, because that sets yourself up for a very weak nervous system, a very weak body, because then you will always need to be in these bubbles that are insular and that just reflect who you are, you know? And that to me is not checks and balances. That to me is just an extreme of anything, is not healthy for anyone. You know, it might look utopic in the beginning, but in the future, not, right? So nervous system elegance requires you to be calm, which allows you to be more magnetic. Because if you can be that source of reason and groundedness in the heat of battle, and like you haven't even opened up your mouth, everyone's just going to assume that you have more power, you have more influence, you have more self-control. And the person that has more self-control controls the room, controls the negotiation, controls the conversation, controls the person's perception of who they thought you were, because maybe they assumed that you were easily manipulated, right? Because you are a woman that is beautiful, and that's usually a trope that happens. But then once they're giving you numbers to a contract, or you're on a date with someone and they're making sly remarks, and usually people will buckle. Usually it'll get underneath someone's skin. But you're just there sitting pretty, and the things that come out of your mouth is now you're negotiating more. Now you're asking for more. Now you're just saying like, this doesn't work for me. I need to get it from the table and leave. Whatever it is, right? Like, one of my favorite things is I don't go back and forth with people because I got it in the spiritual. I know that because I'm doing this work all the time with myself. I'm getting good with my energetics. I understand that every action has a reaction, right? Because I'm moving like that with my body. So why wouldn't that be with energy? Why wouldn't that be with business? Why wouldn't that be with relationships, right? So I make sure that what I do, what I say, I can stand on. And if I can't stand on it, then I'll go and I'll correct it, because I'm like, yeah, I can't deal with that in the future, right? So it's very important in the art of feminine discipline that you realize when you're calm, you attract in more. When you are in survival mode, you're going to repel. It'll feel like this push and pull energy. When you're calm, you pull things in, and you're also okay with saying no and saying yes. You're not desperate. So feminine discipline is about mastering your internal state and not just your schedule. It's not just like habit stacking and doing all these things, right? No, it's about alignment. It's about truthfulness. So you are at the right place, right time. Miracles happen, quantum leaps. Things start to materialize out of thin air. People are like, how the hell did that happen? You're like, because I'm doing so much work in the spiritual, you have no clue unless you're in this world and you're doing it, right? So it's not just about mastering schedule, it's about mastering your internal state and your energetic system, your belief system about who you are and what you deserve. And you learn that every single time you tune into the details of how you feel, what is lifting you up, what is bringing you down, what foods raise your sugar, what brings you down, what makes you feel grounded. How do you like showing up to meetings? Is it super satiated on food? Is it not? It's learning all these details about yourself so that even when your schedule is full, you're not bugging out. You know how to move through it. And maybe there'll be weeks where it's really intense, but you also have the 2 weeks after, which is going to be decompression, detoxification, regulating your nervous system so you come back into your equilibrium and equanimity with self. A spell that I want you to put on yourself for affirmation is, the more still I become, the more I attract. When you are frenetic and you are chaotic, again, you are chasing, you're moving after things that probably are not in your best interest and are reflecting your dysregulated nervous system. But when you are still and you're grounded and you're earthed in yourself as a woman, that is your superpower to attract in things that want to be in alignment with that frequency and do not want you to be frenetic and very heightened in energy and all of these things, but prefer you to be in your stillness, prefer you to be grounded, prefer you to be at peace. To me, at peace, all it is just an elegant nervous system, a grounded space within yourself, and you're moving from this place. And watch, my loves, the opportunities, the body, the people that will just naturally be attracted to you, but also repelled by you, it's honey. And then the final goddess mindset is your body is the altar, okay? It is not the sacrifice. Maybe other belief systems, they need their bodies to be the sacrifice, okay? Your body is not a sacrifice. If anything, every single time that you bleed, that is your sacrifice of at least 3 months of energy, belief systems. If you're sexually involved with someone, it's also their energy. You're shedding. So you naturally just shed. You naturally let things move through you, right? So you do not need to sacrifice anything. You don't need to sacrifice any foods, right? Instead, just eat to honor your body. Eat to honor your goals. Eat to honor the lifestyle you want to live. Eat to honor the longevity of your body. You know, like I eat because when I am in my elder years, I want to feel happy and I want to be the elder that people look at and be like, how do I do that? You know? And I've seen those examples in my family where I have elders that are just gorgeous and they're beautiful and they're healthy and they're vibrant. And it's because they decided to take their altars of their body seriously in their 30s. 20s, everybody's being wild, right? But in their 30s and beyond, they're like, no, we need to take this seriously. And because of that, they are just vibrant beings of life, abundance, wealth, success, health, wisdom. And I want to be that, right? So I'm not just doing things so I can attract a partner or I can like have people like me. Like I don't really care about those things. That could be a totally different video, right? What I care about is myself, because I'm going to be in this body till death do us part, you know, like, so I want to make sure that I'm showing up for this body with so much love and devotion and making sure that I also flush out the toxins that I will experience in a day-to-day, right? I can't live in a bubble. So eat to honor the body, not to shrink it. Eat to honor the body and get it in its most optimal goddess form that is in your vision, right? And I can go into other videos, which I will, that I detox and I glow, but really get this, please, into your consciousness. When you eat, when you put anything in your mouth, it is to honor yourself, not to dishonor yourself. And then beauty is about efficiency. It's about your cells moving in harmony and in health and in vibrant vitality. And it is about the performance of your cells, that you have good conditioning. You can walk up a hill. You can keep a baby on your hip for like 2 hours and be good. You can have really good posture, right? And it's not, again, because of performance for the external world, but it's performance for the internal world. You can show up to the things that you love in your life with vitality and health and not complaining about aches and pains and dysfunction that's happening in your mind and in your heart. But you could show up well and healthy, and you deserve that. You deserve a healthy life. Not just looking good, but feeling good, right? And so beauty is about efficiency. It's about lightness from honoring your body's needs day to day and allowing your body to feel clean and safe, satiated and supported, not just by others, but by yourself, right? And also in proxy to that, people around you will do that. People will show up and do these things that support you to be healthier and well and loved and supported like the goddess that you are. All right. So I pray that this energized you. This gave you life. Put in the comment section, beauty things do you want me to go more deep into? Because now that I feel like we have these mindsets and you will come to this video and you will listen to it again and again, and you will get into your consciousness, I feel safe to give you all the other tips and tricks that you can now layer into your mindset, your lifestyle, your choices. But I love you so much. You are a goddess and you deserved to worship yourself and to be devotional to yourself and to have the world reflect that in return. Bye, babes.